bowing greetings to everybody. Welcome to this new session of my channel, Holistic Health with Dr-Deb. Now, I would say this session is going to be one of the fundamental sessions regarding my channel because the title, as you see, is regarding what is holistic health, anyways. So, my channel name includes these two words, holistic health. Now, what is it? What do we mean by it? How is it different than just health? Who is healthy? Is there anybody who is actually truly healthy? All of these questions we will be discussing in this particular session. And I would say that I would guide and steer this discussion through the mode of Ayurveda specifically, because you will see why. I will draw in one particular shloka from our Shastras, our scriptures on Ayurveda, which talks about this holistic health in a very, very compact fashion. All right, so let's get started into today's discussion of what is holistic health. Now, for this discussion, I would like to start with saying that every individual, every living being has three layers of their existence. Say, for example, human beings. We have three layers of our existence, all right? The first and the grossest layer means the most sthula, the grossest layer is the physical layer. Why is it the grossest? Because you can palpate it, you can touch it, you can see it, you can perceive it. No limitations in terms of perceiving this layer of our existence, which is the physical layer. Okay, the physical layer. Now, after the physical layer, the second layer becomes subtler, right? It's actually called the subtle body, right? So the subtle body, it constitutes the mental layer, the mental emotional layer, right? So the first layer is the physical layer, the second layer is the mental emotional layer, right? You can also consider the subtle, like the energetic layer, where all our energies that we cannot perceive through our senses. For example, we can't see our mind, but the mind functions. Oh boy, we don't need to say that, right? Our mind functions all the time. In fact, it's the fastest thing on this entire existence. So the second layer is the mental layer, mental emotional layer. The third layer is the spiritual layer, the Sat Chit Ananda, the ever eternal, ever blissful Ātman layer, soul layer. Okay, the Ātman layer. So, physical layer, mental, emotional, energetic layer, and the spiritual layer. Now, before we talk about the health, we need to understand what is imbalance of the health and where is it manifested. Out of these three layers of our existence, only and only the physical layer and the mental layer manifests the imbalances. Whatever imbalance we can think of, that manifests either in our physical layer or in our mental, emotional, energetic layer, or a combination of both. The soul layer or the Ātman layer, the Sat Chit Ananda. Ananda is pure bliss, right? Sat, truth. Chit, conscious. Sat Chit Ananda, that eternally conscious, pure, blissful state, the Ātman, has no imbalance. All right, this is the first clarification I want to make. Now, today, by discussing the concept of holistic health, I would talk about the different components of the health that is incorporated in the definition of holistic health. Now, for that, I will talk about a particular shloka from one of the Brihat Trayis. In Sanskrit, Brihat means great, Trayi means trio. In the Shastras, the scriptures of Ayurveda, there are three texts that are called as canonical texts, right? Everything has their canonical text. For example, the Yoga Darshana, the Yoga Shastra, right? The Yoga, whatever we have as yoga, we have the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. They are considered as the canonical texts of yoga, right? There might be other ones, but I'm saying these two are widely popular and very much known to people. These are the two canonical texts on the Yoga Darshana, Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Similarly, Ayurveda's the three canonical texts are Charaka Samhita, Suśruta Samhita, who is Suśruta, Acharya Suśruta, who is considered as the father of ancient Indian surgery, and Ashtanga Hridayam by Acharya Vagbhata. So these are the three canonical texts on Ayurveda. Now, today's definition of holistic health, what I will draw upon, is from Acharya's Suśruta Samhita. Every Shastra, these canonical texts, have different segments. Chapters are clubbed together in different segments. We call it sthana, okay, segment. The first sthana usually is called Sutra Sthana. Sutra means formula. Sutra Sthana, which is the introductory segment. This shloka is from the Sutra Sthana of Suśruta Samhita, chapter 15, which is Dosha Dhatu Mala Kshaya Vriddhi Vijnanyam Adhyayam, meaning the doshas, the functional energies in our body. We will talk about that in details. Dhatu, the bodily tissues, the 7 tissues we have in our body. Mala, our waste products, the 3 waste products that we have. And Dosha Dhatu Mala Kshaya Vriddhi means their increase and their decrease, the signs of that. In that chapter, which is chapter 15, shloka, the verse 41, talks about this particular concept of holistic health that I will explain here. Before I go into the explanation, of course, I would like to chant for you that particular shloka. Okay, I will chant it for 2 to 3 times, and then I will go into the detailed description of each component of it to explain the concept of holistic health. So now the chant. Samadoṣa Samāgnischa Samadhātu Malakriyaha Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Okay. Samadoṣa Samāgnischa Samadhātu Malakriyaha Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Samadoṣa Samāgnischa Samadhātu Malakriyaha Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Okay. Samadoṣa Samāgnischa Samadhātu Malakriyaha Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Samadosha. Sama means balanced, equipoised, balanced. Samadosha. The doshas are that which are subjected to pollution, that which gets polluted easily. In this case, in Ayurveda, the doshas are the functional energies that govern the physiological system of any living organism. What are they? There are 3 functional energies. One is the functional energy of air, primarily air. Second one is the functional energy of primarily fire. And the third one is the functional energy of primarily water, right? So the 5 great elements, which are the earth, water, fire, air, and ether, 2 of them from these 5, 2 of them constitutes one or each one of these 3 functional energies. What are they? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Tridosha, they are called. So, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. What is Vata? Vata literally means wind or air. Vata. Okay, Vata. Long A, short A. Vata. It's constituted by the air of. It's constituted with the elements of air primarily and also ether. Air and ether, space. wind and or air and space elements. Pitta, it's constituted of primarily fire with a little bit of water to keep the fire sustained and controlled. And then Kapha, the energy of water, and earth, the heaviest elements among the 5 great elements, right? So these three, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Kapha. Remember, it's labial sound, pa, not f, not fa. Pa, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These three are the 3 doshas. The doshas are functional humors, functional energies that govern the physiological systems. Not only that, it also have impact on psychological functions that happens within the organism, within our body, right? Within our mind body system. So the 3 doshas, Samadoṣa, one whose 3 doshas are equibalanced, are poised, meaning not necessarily they are in equal proportion, meaning 33%, 33%, 33%, not like that. Samadoṣa means whatever their innate nature is, whatever the orientation from the inception of the sperm and the egg, from the conjoining of the sperm and the egg is, Prakriti is determined. Whatever it is, that innate nature is in balance. It's not hyper, it's not hiked up or reduced from what the innate proportions of these 3 energies are, which determines one's Prakriti, right? So Samadoṣa. Samāgnischa, Sama Agni. Agni means fire, literally. Here, in Ayurvedic context, in our discussion, holistic health context, Ayurveda is, by the way, a holistic science, medical science, right? Which treats the human system as an entirety, in its entirety, and not just one component, any living organism. So, Samadoṣa, Samāgnischa. Agni means fire. In our discussion, Agni is the energy that transforms, that metabolizes, that processes, that. Think of metabolism and transformation. Transformation could be the transformation of your intellect, meaning you are listening to my words and your intellect is processing it, is transforming the data into information, right? So you are processing there in your intellectual level, the sadhaka pitta. Anyway, so the pitta energy is the energy of transformation. Of course, the fire, the digestive fire that digests the food, which happens in our digestive system, is of course the Jaఠaragni. Jaఠaragni is the primary metabolic fire, which is the most prominent, or it's considered the main kitchen fire, right? But there are subtle fires also, like the fires of the 5 elements, the 5 elements which constitutes everything in the universe: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They have their agnis too to process those. And the dhatu agni. Dhatu agnis are the fire that metabolizes and transforms nutrients to sustain, to nourish the dhatus, the bodily tissues. How many are there? There are 7. Rasa, right? The plasma, the rasa. Rakta. Rasa, rakta. Rakta is blood tissues. Mamsa is muscle tissue. Meda, adipose tissues. Asthi, bone tissues. Majja, nervous tissues, for example, the bone marrow and the nervous tissues, okay? Asthi, majja, and the shukra is the subtlest of all the dhatus, and it forms after the digestion of all the other 6 dhatus, which is the shukra, the reproductive tissues, okay? So the 7 tissues, they have agnis too, to process their, to nourish and process the individual or the respective dhatus. So energy of fire. Energy of water is, the kapha energy is to have cohesion in the body, to have structure in the body, to hold things together in a cohesive fashion, to nourish, to nurture, okay, to build. So energy of cohesion, structure, holding up, dharana, right? So these are the 3 energies, the doshas. So whoever's an individual whose doshas are in balance, they are doing their functions in the way which their innate nature is conducive to. Every individual has a certain proportion of these 3 energies, right, which constitutes their which builds up their constitution, the prakriti, the innate constitution. So they have the doshas are in balance, right? Because whenever there is an imbalance in the dosha, imbalance in the health occurs, right? So one whose doshas are balanced. Sama Agni, I just told you. Agni means the fire, the metabolism, the digestive fire, and the subtle fires, which I just talked about, right? The fire is also in a equipoise. It's in a balanced state, sama state, right? Samadoṣa, Samāgnischa, and the Samāgni, state of equipoised, balanced Agni. Samadhātu malakriyaha means the dhatus, the 7 bodily tissues we just talked about. Rasa, the plasma, the fluids in our body. Rakta, the blood tissue. Mamsa, the muscle. Meda, the adipose tissues. Asthi, the bone tissues, the bone marrow and the nervous system and the reproductive tissues. The tissues are equibalanced. The tissues are balanced. Not any one of the tissues, one or more of the tissues are out of balance. Not like that. They are all in their right proportions. Samadoṣa, Samāgnischa, Samadhātu, Mala. There are 3 kinds of waste products that help us eliminate our waste products from our body mind system. What are they? They are stool, right? Purisha, stool. Then mutra is urine, and sweda is perspiration, right? Sweat. These are the 3 material substance through which we eliminate the waste products that build up through our metabolic processes. Okay, we eliminate those from the body to stay healthy. Whose waste products are equipoised, are balanced, are the malas are in sama state. So samadhatu, so samadoṣa, samagnischa, samadhatu malakriyaha. Now next line, this is the subtle part where it gets a little subtler. Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas. Prasanna means content, satiated. Content satiated. Prasanna is also cheerful, you can think of. Prasanna Ātma. Ātma means soul. What does it mean that Ātma is Prasanna? Ātma is always blissful, right? Ātma is this ever blissful state, Satchidananda. So it means the individual in which the mind-body system in which the soul is housed, they are having the right perception of their truest nature, which is the Ātman. Prasanna, that is cheerful state of Ātma. Indriya means the sensory organs, the 5 sensory organs: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the skin, through which we connect to the outside world to take the sensory inputs of seeing, hearing or listening, then smelling, then tasting, and then feeling the touch perception. Whoever's indriyas are satiated and cheerful and blissful, and what? Manaha, mind, is prasanna, is content. Why mind and indriya coming together? Because it's just like, imagine the 5 senses are the 5 horses of a chariot, and the mind is nothing but the reins that guide the horses. So they are connected. The mind, if the mind is not there, the sensory organs are just for show. We are not connected with the outside world. Mind is the bridge between the sensory organs and the outside world to our internal world of buddhi, ahankar, and all that, of our false ego. So mind, if mind is, for example, we are watching, right? We are, suppose you guys are listening to this. You will only be listening if you are mindful to what I'm saying. If you are just, you have just opened this video and you are not even listening, then it's only a hearing. You are not even getting any information out of it because you are not present, right? So presence of mind, being mindful, makes the presence of the indriyas, the sensory organs, successful. Okay, so whoever's mind and sensory organs are also balanced and cheerful, not balanced, and prasanna means cheerful. Swastha means a healthy person. Iti abhidhiyate means is thus called a healthy person. Whose samadosha, the functional energies are balanced. The vata, pitta, kapha, they are proportionate activity, they are balanced. Samāgnischa, the fire, that is balanced. Samadhātu, the tissues are in the right quantity. I mentioned right, there is no one size fits all. Whatever somebody's innate prakriti is, based on that, the tissues are in their balanced state, balanced quantity, neither in an accumulated state nor in a declined state. Okay, in the balanced state, Samadoṣa Samāgni Samadhātu Malakriyaha, whose actions of eliminations of stool, urine, and the sweat is going on properly in a balanced state, and who is cheerful, that individual who is cheerful with the knowledge of the Ātman. Ātman is that ever pervading, ever existing entity, which is Sat Chit Ananda, right? Pure bliss, eternally existing. Neither was it ever born, nor will it ever die. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah, ajo nitya shashyato ayam purano, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Just see, I think it's 20, either 19, 20, or 21. In that, from 18 to 30, chapter 2, one of the shlokas will be this: Na jayate mriyate va kadachin, nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyah, ajo nitya shashatoyam purano, na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Talks about the nature of our Atman. Who has this perception of the nature of our Atman and is content with that idea of what my Atma is. Prasanna Ātmā, Indriya and Manaha. Ātma, Indriya, Manaha means the sensory organs and the mind is also content. Swastha ityabhidhiyate. That individual is known as, is called, abhidhiyate is called swastha, healthy. All right. So did you see the different layers that it went through? Who is considered a healthy person? Now, after listening to this, you might ask, Deb, is it even possible for an individual to be truly healthy? Given that you have talked about all these different layers, is it ever possible for an individual to be really healthy when there are so many subtle intricacies which needs to be in a poised state and which needs to be in a blissful, cheerful state? My answer to you would be, you are right. In that regard, if you go word by word, concept by concept, probably nobody can be called as healthy. But for anybody and everybody, it's always a journey towards going to their state, to that state of health. And just because here in the definition of health, we talked about all the layers of our existence. Remember, we started this discussion with the 3 layers of our existence: physical layer, mental layer, mental, emotional, energetic layer, and spiritual layer. Since we talked about all 3 layers of these elements being in a poised state, that's why it's holistic health. Holistic health in what I provide to my community members, whoever comes to me, whoever I work with, in my protocol, in my program that I have created. If you have not heard about it, a 15-week protocol that I have created, a signature protocol in which I handhold the participants, whoever I am working with, one-on-one for 15 weeks, and I guide them through nurturing, through nourishing, through bringing back to its natural balanced state, using different ancient tools, healing modalities such as yoga, Ayurveda, Reiki healing, traditional Thai massage, traditional Thai medicine, Vedic wisdom such as mantra yoga, the Vedic chanting, the vibrational sounds of the divine language of celestial beings, the Sanskritam, and sound therapy. It could be the sound of the the Vedic musical instrument I play, the pakhwaj, or it could be the sound of mantras. It could be the sound of some seed mantras, sound of some specific vibrations, sound of the language Sanskritam, whatever it is, using the sound vibrations also. So, using all these ancient healing tools, I walk the participants, hand holding them one by one to bring to them the tools which will allow us to heal ourselves holistically in all these intricate layers of our existence, okay, and allow us to shed some light toward what is our true identity, to shed some light about the identity of our ever existing, everlasting, pure bliss, our Atman. So we are free of suffering. It sounds like a lot, but yeah, even if we have tasted that state of being in that phase where we have created that space between our Prakriti and the Purusha, in that space lies the freedom from suffering. With that, I will like to bring this session to a close by chanting one mantra. First of all, chanting this particular mantra that we just talked about in this session about defining holistic health, and then one Vedic mantra, Vedic Shanti mantra from the Upanishads, okay, which talks about again the nature of our Atman, our true nature. Okay, so this one was Samadoṣa Samāgniṣca Samadhātu Malakriyāha Prasanna Ātmā-Indriya-Manas Swastha Ityabhidhiyate. Now, the Vedic chanting to finish this session, to draw this session to a close formally, is Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Now, the meaning of this last mantra, you might be thinking what it is. Let's have another session. This video is already quite long. So let's meet in another session where I will describe the meaning of this last Vedic peace chant. Thank you so much for listening in, for tuning in. I hope you have gained some value from this video. If yes, then please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed yet. I see many people listen to the videos, but they don't subscribe. Please do that and share this video with your loved ones so that they can also avail this wisdom brought in from the scriptures directly to you. Okay? So with that, and also do not forget to, or remember to comment in this video what you think holistic health looks like for your case. What is your desired holistic health, the state of that? How does it look to you? I would love to know that. Please write me in the comment sections, or in any, if you have any questions, please also let me know in the comment section. Okay, I would try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Please take care, and let's all either start or continue or strive toward getting to that state of holistic health. God bless everybody. Thank you. Hari Om. Namaste.